John Cena has passed the torch to Cody Rhodes and anointed him as the top guy in WWE, and Cody is on SmackDown with a message for the people. The people who he says he wants to serve, whether they boo or if they cheer. And he promises to protect the legacy of the championship on behalf of everyone, and that he is the only man for the job. But from out of nowhere, he gets served a Claymore. And Drew McIntyre looks down at Cody and says, "You're not the man they think you are. I know who you are deep down. You're saying you're protecting the legacy of that championship, but you're just protecting your own. And I'm going to expose you." Drew is the self-proclaimed truth of WWE, but is he right? Will we get an insight as Cena is once again ambushed by the Beast Brock Lesnar right after their match is made official for Clash in Paris? And Cody, who now feels a sense of responsibility, comes out to make the save, but before he can, it's another Claymore. And Drew once again lays the verbal barbs. The only reason you're trying to help is to get them to cheer you, because that's the only thing you care about. You want to be known as the good guy, but you're not. And Cody takes this right to heart, but he also takes the challenge and meets Drew McIntyre head-on for the WWE Championship at Clash in Paris as well. And the match has a different feel because we know damn well Drew will bring the physicality, but it's Cody who shows an edge as well. But this isn't all that new, because Cody has shown in the last 12 months in bursts that he can be the same. But it really feels like it's getting close to the surface. But what is also close is the end, because Drew nails him with another Claymore, but it knocks Cody into the referee, and Drew makes the cover, but obviously no one is there to make the count. However, someone does arrive, and it's hardly someone Drew wants to see. The Scottish psychopath is laid out, and Orton bails, and Cody, who saw the whole thing, has a decision to make, and he makes it. He picks up Drew, and he drills him with a crossroads, and he retains his championship. And Drew McIntyre completely crashes out on SmackDown. And he trashes the show, throwing the steel steps around and throwing around security as well. Everyone's in danger, and he yells at the crowd that he told everyone that Cody was a fraud, and he exposed himself by taking Orton's help. But it's then Cody comes out and takes umbrage. He doesn't like the narrative that Drew's painting, and they get into another brawl, which Drew once again starts to get on top of. But it actually draws cheers from the crowd, which was unexpected. But what else is the fact that Randy Orton hits the ring and drops him yet again with an RKO, which sends him out of the ring. But this is where things get interesting, because Cody gets in Orton's face and he starts yelling at him. "What the hell are you doing, Randy? I didn't even ask for your help. You didn't need to get involved, and now you're making me look like I..." Cody controls his anger, but he does walk off from Orton. But it's as he reaches the stage, he gets stopped in his tracks again. Burn it down! Cody. Long time no see. And look, it's good to see you found another shield in Randy. My back still kind of hurts. But hey, you seem to forget. We've got a dated crown jewel for our champ versus champ match, baby. Oh, and one more thing. Seth slaps Cody, and then he takes off. He senses Cody is boiling, and he's trying to bait him. And it sure as hell works, because Cody, absolutely livid, shows up to Raw, and he wants a fight. And it's a fight he absolutely gets, but not from Seth. Instead, he has to deal with Bronson and Braun, who wipe him out, all while being instructed by the Oracle and the Architect. And as Bronson Reed hits the first tsunami, the crowd starts a chant. And Seth loves this. Bronson Reed pleases the crowd with another one, and then Seth, while Cody writhes in pain, says, "It kills you that after everything you claim to have done for them, they still love us more. Show them who you really are, and they might show you some respect. They see through you, Cody, just like I do." Two men who worked incredibly hard to stop the tyranny of Roman Reigns together are now both on top, but clashing themselves. And during the match, Rollins plays his mind games and he baits Cody in. He's constantly teasing him and tempting him, trying to get him to snap and draw the anger out. But Cody resists for now. Because as we get to the deep, dark depths of the match, Cody does snap somewhat, and he's simply had enough, and he hammers Rollins into oblivion continuously, rights and lefts, and he even draws the crimson mask out of Seth Rollins until he stops and has to take a moment from the haze that he was just in. It's only a moment they need though, because Paul, in his infinite wisdom, grabs his foot, trips him up, and he stumbles to his hands and knees, and the rest is history. Cody is forcing a smile. He's clearly off as he makes his entrance just before commercial break. But it's after the break, we see a video package of what happened at Crown Jewel. And it shows Seth Rollins during his celebration and the crowd singing his name, which then carries over into the live crowd in the arena. This really annoys Cody, and he struggles to get his emotions under control, but he does manage to get some words out. I just want to say, I'm doing this for you. Blood, sweat, and tears. I ended Roman Reigns' reign of terror. I saved wrestling, and I brought John Cena back, and You know what? Never mind. Cheer or boo, this will always be for you. Brock Lesnar destroys Cody with a vicious F5, and Cody is left playing again. But he hears a familiar chant. Lesnar listens and he picks up Cody and drops him again to a huge pop from the crowd, and it says a lot. But what also says a lot is Lesnar picking up Cody's title and holding it above his head. And it's clear that is his next target. But what we really want to know is what Cody's mindset is regarding the fans. Well, Byron Saxton asks him immediately after the attack, and it might not be the best time. Really, Byron? Listen, I just want this place to be loud. I just want the people to have a good time. And if I have to be the butt of that, then so be it. But you know what I want? I want Brock Lesnar at Survivor Series. And that is exactly what Cody gets, and he lays it all on the line against the Beast, almost feeling like it's to prove something to the fans that he's desperate to please. And clearly, when you step in the ring against Lesnar, you are going to struggle. And this is no different. And the crowd, as usual, are counting the suplexes and enjoying the pain. But it's during these German suplexes that Cody manages to grab the turnbuckle pad, but he accidentally rips it off. And he counters the German suplex, and just like he did against Rollins, he sees red, and he rams Lesnar's head into the exposed turnbuckle very deliberately. And the referee, of course, sees it and immediately calls for the DQ, which the crowd despises, and they boo him out of the building. But the crowd boos turned to cheers when Lesnar lifts him up and drops him with an F5. And once again, those chants start. And Lesnar stalks him, but little did we know, he was being stalked as well, and he gets a swift RKO out of nowhere, and the crowd explodes. Orton is once again the savior, and he's there for Cody, even though he didn't want it before. But he's absolutely no question saved him from a potentially career-ending beating. However, as Cody comes to and sees what happened, and hears the reaction of the people to Randy, he boils again. Pushes past Orton and leaves the ring. And it shows Cody is clearly conflicted, but he's still playing the role and playing to the fans. He's the champion, he's on top, but he's not getting the recognition he seems to feel like he deserves. Well, one man who had very similar thoughts meets him in the ring and has a word of warning before his time is up. And Cena advises him from experience not to go down the dark path that he knows for a fact doesn't work. And Cody considers it, he listens, but he has a counter. I hear you, John, and I respect you profoundly. Hell, I respect each and every person in this audience profoundly. But we're different. You reneged on who you are. You gave in to the temptation. I'm not. I haven't changed. I've always stood for the right thing. I've always done things the right way, and I still do. It goes against every fiber of my being to do what you did. You sold out. You sold your soul. I would never do that. We're not the same. Cena is clearly not overly happy with the disrespect shown, but it's steeped in a little bit of truth. But has Cody really not changed? Some disagree, and it splits the audience. But what doesn't split the audience is when Gunther, who is John Cena's confirmed final opponent, hits the ring and cheap shots him as Cody is walking away. And Cody hears it, and from the corner of his eye sees it. But will he do anything? Yes, he turns and he's about to run towards the ring, but then he sees Randy Orton sliding in and being the savior again and fighting Gunther off. Randy is one of John Cena's oldest rivals, but also oldest friends, and he's there for him. And the crowd laps up the reunion. And add to that the fact that Randy will be on the final John Cena headline card in Boston for Saturday night's main event, facing Brock Lesnar, and the fans eat it up even more. But where does that leave Cody? Well, it leaves him determined and asking to defend his WWE Championship on that very show to make it as big as it can be. And he handpicks an opponent, and it's L.A. Knight. A man hugely popular as a choice, as he's been screwed out of multiple world title opportunities, and Cody wants to give him a fair shot. But as the match carries on, and Knight puts on the usual display and takes Cody all the way to the deep waters, that sense of unease comes out, because the crowd, who is clearly desperate for Knight to win his first, is right on his side. However, as Knight leapfrogs him, he tweaks his knee, and it's a cruel twist of fate, considering how his match with Seth Rollins on the last Saturday night's main event went. And the referee is checking on him while Cody stands back in the corner. And Knight, of course, wants to continue the match and forces himself to his feet, and the referee makes sure he's okay, and LA Knight says, it continues on, and you can see Cody in two minds, but he makes the decision, and he shows that edge again. And now he takes Knight down and locks in the figure four. And it's met with boos from the crowd. They see it as Cody targeting the injury right away unfairly. But of course, it was just the match continuing. And he wins as Knight is forced to tap out. But as Cody, once again frustrated, lets the hold go and realizes that it's made the injury far worse, Knight is wheeled out on a stretcher. And Cody is bereft of ideas of what to say or do. And he mumbles under his breath that the camera audio barely catches. And he says, this title isn't about me. It's about all of us. You need me. It's clear Cody wants to be loved and adored, and that is what drives him. We ask, was Drew McIntyre right? Well, even more is shown when Brock Lesnar is brutalizing Orton after Orton snuck a win earlier, and Lesnar has spiraled out of control, and it feels like a throwback to a certain SummerSlam, and it's getting ugly, and Randy needs help desperately, but as perhaps expected, it doesn't arrive. And while we couldn't see Cody, just like we will no longer see John Cena, who wrapped up a legendary career by looking up at the lights in a loss to Gunther, it's the bright lights of Randy Orton's entrance that shine on SmackDown, and he wants to talk to one man. But Randy arrives not as a confidant, but as a challenger. Cody Rhodes' WWE Championship at the Royal Rumble. But also challenges Cody to not be like him and not become the man he's sworn to never be. But Cody, with either tears or rage in his eyes, claims that he isn't like the rest of them. He's a better man, and he will never sell out. He will fight for the people because the people need him. Creator versus his creation. But what exactly has Randy Orton created? Well, one thing is clear, he's created competition. And that's exactly what he gets in spades as they trade offense in a war of attrition. It's a match where very few would know each other better, and they trade exhausted shots back and forth in the dying stages with cheers for Orton and boos for Cody. It's an instant classic until it's not. The referee stops the match, the crowd in a chorus of boos. However, Cody, with a crimson mask, but not from him, from his opponent, celebrates like normal because Cody genuinely believes he's wrestling's savior. But has he now become its greatest threat? It shows that how people feel about you is more often than not in your own head. For better or worse.